I hope all of you are able to hear my voice clearly.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, somebody has any issue, please try to log out and rejoin again. I want solution set for each one of these things. After 5 minutes, whoever video is off, they will be removed. So please put down your videos.
Okay, sir.
Sir, done.
Okay. Any boys they want to say for the first one?
The closed interval -5 to infinity.
Okay. Closed interval -5 to infinity. Yes. Anybody else want to say for second one?
Sir, closed -2 to infinity.
Closed -4 to infinity. You want to say? Okay.
-2 to infinity.
Sir, minus 2.
-2.
Closed -2. Okay. Anybody else want to tell for third one? Boys?
Sir, -infinity to -6.
-infinity to -6. Closed or open?
Closed, sir.
-6 closed. Okay. What is the integer part of -6 alone?
-7.
But what time is Chandrareddy sir's class for you?
11
to 12.
11 to 12.
Okay. So if you want integer part to be greater than or equal to -5, of course, for any number between -4 to -5, integer part is -5 only. So starting from -5, everything on the right side. Okay. But integer part of x, you want to be greater than -3. If you take anything here, what is the integer part will be? -3 only, right?
-3.
Okay. But we want greater than -3 means you have to start at -2. So this also fine. This also fine. Right? Coming to this, you want integer part of x to be -7 or less than that. Here -7 integer part. Okay. Here -8. Here -9. But this is not okay. Anything before -6 is okay. I think it should be open interval. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Open interval.
This is -infinity. -6 is not okay, but just before -6, everything else is fine. Okay. What is about integer part of x less than -4?
-infinity to -4. Closed and open interval.
-4. Yeah. If you take all these things, the integer part is -5. They are all okay. Only -4 is not okay. So open interval -4. Yes. And actually, this is same as integer part of x greater than or equal to -2. These two are same. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
And when I say integer part of x should be less than -4, it is same as integer part of x less than or equal to -5. These two are also same, right?
Yes.
Yeah, these two appear different, but actually they're same. These two are also same. Okay, anybody any confusion here?
No, sir.
Okay. Last time I gave positive numbers, they're somewhat little more easier to see maybe, but even then it's okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
sir, -7 can you say that?
-7.
Yes.
You take anything between -6 to -7, integer part is -7 only. What is the integer part of minus 6.2? It is not minus 6, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here integer part is minus 7, here minus 8, here minus 9. All are okay, which are less than minus 6. That's why minus infinity to minus 6.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else have any objection to any one of these four?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes, please.
so then each time we should take the number line, see where the number lies and solve the inequality like that.
No, you don't have to take number line. Once you get a feel of the whole thing, you can just tell directly. Because negative numbers, I thought somebody may have confusion. That's why I'm showing you.
Sir, like, can you give some formula, sir? Like integer part of x some greater than a equals closed interval a to infinity.
Okay, okay, I'll give you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if somebody wants the formulas, first one, integer part of x is equal to a. Okay, the solution and a is integer. Okay, in all these cases, I'm going to take let a is an integer. Okay, now solution set. For this solution set is closed interval a to open interval a plus 1. Correct?
Yes, sir.
If you want integer part of x to be 7, anything between 7 up to the next integer. Even if you take number line, for example, a and a plus 1, in between anything you take integer part of that is a only. If you want integer part of x should be greater than or equal to a, that is closed a to infinity. If you want only greater than a, which is equivalent to integer part of x greater than or equal to a plus 1. If you want greater than a, the next possible integer should be a plus 1, right? Then automatically the solution will be as good as like this with a plus 1 to infinity. If you want integer part of x to be greater than 7, then the next possible is 8. It starts with 8 to infinity. If you want integer part of x should be less than or equal to a, there one should not think it should be minus infinity to a, rather it is minus infinity to, anybody want to say answer for this?
Minus
A
infinity
plus
to
one.
a plus 1.
Minus a minus 1.
Let's say I want integer part of x should be less than or equal to 7. Minus infinity up to where I can go?
8.
Up to 8
Open interval 8.
So here I have to write a plus 1. Even if I take little more than a, also integer part is a up to a plus 1. Okay. So second and third, we don't have much of a problem as such. Okay. But this one have to be. Integer part of x less than a.
Minus infinity to open a.
Yeah. That is as good as x less than a. You can even say this is same as integer part of x. I think this is straightforward of it. Okay. This one I want to say the previous one is equivalent to integer part of x less than a plus 1. The previous one. Okay. So better than a, you take some number like 5 or 3, you can easily relate to all these things. I don't have to give these formulas. If you understand, it's very easy. Okay, all of you are able to follow this?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, I want to give, these are formulas kind of thing. I want to just give few more questions. Okay. Okay. Integer part of x between 2 and 7. That right solution set for this. Okay, everybody can try, but anybody whose roll number is more than 200 can answer this, boys or girls. So I'm going to give 4 questions. Roll number more than 200.
Sir, open interval 200 or closed interval?
What? These are open only. Greater than 200. I did not say greater than equal to. Why? Anybody's roll number 200 is there or what?
Sir, can I answer?
If your roll number is more than 200, you can answer. You are more than welcome. Rochana, are you there in the class? Come on, there are a lot of people who have the roll number more than 200. Nobody is answering. Very first one.
Sir, closed interval 2 to open interval 7.
Closed interval 2. Why are you putting closed interval 2?
No, sir.
Sir, closed interval 3 to closed interval 7.
Closed interval 3 to closed interval 7. So 7 is there then. In your answer, 7 is there.
So open interval 7.
Open interval 7.
Open interval 7.
Okay. It is not closed interval 2, it is not open interval 2, by the way. Because not only 2 is not okay, 2.1, 2.2, 2.7, they are all not okay, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is starting number is 3. And you can go 6 is okay, 6.1 up to 6.99 okay, but 7 is not okay. It is open interval 7. In fact, it is equivalent to 3 less than or equal to integer part of x less than 7. Three is okay. Between 3 to 4, anything is okay. Between anything between 6 to 7 also okay, because it will be 6. Only 7 is not okay. Anything beyond is not okay. Okay, those are having some confusion. Once again, they should see the definition, the simple example that I gave in the previous class. Okay. Second one.
Closed interval 4 to open interval 10.
Closed interval 2. Closed interval 4 to open interval 10.
Closed interval 4 to open interval 10. Oh, that's very good. Yeah, we can go up to 4 and we can go up to 9.99, but not 10. This is equivalent to is equivalent to 4 less than or equal to integer part of x less than 10. Of course, even though both are same, because the next possible 3 is 4. After 9, 10 is there, but we don't want it, only less than. Anything is fine, not a problem. Okay, these two questions, anybody roll number less than 200? Or equal
Closed
to
by to
200?
open 10.
Closed by to open 10.
It is easier. Okay, yeah. 9.99 also okay, okay, but 10 is not okay, right? Yeah. What about this last one?
Sir, closed 10 to open 24.
Closed 10 to open 24.
Close 10 to open 24. You can go not only 23, you can go to 23.2, 23.5, 23.99. All integer part is 23 only, but not 24. Just before 24. Okay, just a minute. Okay, everybody clear about these four things, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay, one more thing. We are going to use some of these properties of greatest integer function a little later, but we can just write it now. Integer part of x is always less than or equal to x. You take any number, take its integer part, it will be less than that number or equal to that number. How to prove it? By in definition only it is there. What is the definition of greatest integer part of x means? Greatest integer less than or equal to equal. So less than or equal to x we wrote, that's all. So nothing to prove. The definition only is the proof. But two things we have to write. Integer part of x and x, when they will be equal?
When x is an
When
integer.
x is an integer.
Okay, whenever x is an integer. Integers you can write I or z, anything is okay. Both are same. When will integer part x will be less than x?
When x is not an integer.
Yeah, and only if x belongs to all real numbers except integers. Okay, I or z is set of integers. So if you take a real number which is not an integer, then definitely integer part of x will be less than x. But integer part of x greater than x, no solution. Integer part of x greater than x has no solution. That doesn't have a solution. Okay. Apart from that, it is less than x, but integer part of x is always greater than x minus 1. Okay. But before writing this, I want to say one more thing. I want to write x less than integer part of x plus 1. That is a better way to write. Why? Let us say I have integer part of x here, and integer part of x plus 1. This is quite understandable because my x may not be an integer. And what is the integer before that? Integer part of x. What is integer after that? You have to add 1. So just now we wrote integer part of x less than x. Now I am writing x is less than integer part of x plus 1. So basically on the number line, you will have your number will be there x. If it is not an integer, you will find an integer before that, you will find an integer after that. This is called the greatest integer part of x, and this is the integer part of x plus 1, which is less than that. So this is very easy to write. Okay. Actually, if you write that number line, no, that is a proof. Okay. In fact, you can write here or here anywhere. Both this and this are covered right there. But here equality will never happen. There is no case where x can be equal to integer part of x plus 1. That will never happen. This is for all x belongs to R. Now, if you bring this side, we'll get x minus 1 less than integer part of x. Okay, we'll be using this later on, but as we told the definition of integer part of x, better to discuss this here.
Sir,
Yes, please.
did not understand that belongs to Z and not belongs to Z.
Oh, when will integer part of x and x will be equal? Whenever x is an integer, right?
Yes, sir.
Z and I are called set of integers. That's all. Like capital R is set of real numbers, Z is set of integers.
Down one, sir. But
When will integer part of x will be less than x but not equal? When all non-integer how will you write? All real numbers except integers. Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else has any objection to whatever is there on the board?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Integer part of x plus y is equal to integer part of x plus integer part of y. Is it a correct statement? Is it correct statement or wrong statement? You add two numbers and then find integer part of that, or find separate integer part of first one and second one. Will their sum be equal?
Sir, it is true only for integers, sir. X and Y are integers.
Oh yeah, if they're integers, it is true. What if they're not integers? Let's say I'll take x as 7.1 and y as 3.2.
Sir, then also true.
Then also it is true. This is 10.3, integer part will be 10. This is 7, this is 3, it will be 10. Will there be a case where it will violate this rule?
Sir, if decimal is more than 5?
Yeah. If I take here, let us say 7.7 and here 3.4. Okay. Then this total will be 11.1. Integer part is 11, but this is 7, this is 3, it will be some 10. Right? When the decimal part of this and decimal part of this, when you add, if that crosses 1, then you will have a problem. All right? Yeah, just with one example, you cannot prove. You take one example like 7.1, 3.2, don't think it is true. All right? Okay. And not necessary that they should be integers also. Okay. So integer part of x plus integer part of y. Okay. Or integer part of x plus y need not be equal to need not be equal to integer part of x plus integer part of y. Similarly, integer part of x into y need not be equal to integer part of x into integer part of y. You can obviously give an example for any one of them. Similarly, integer part of x minus y need not be equal to integer part of x minus integer part of y. But regarding this integer part of x plus y, I can say it is equal to integer part of x plus integer part of y, or integer part of x plus integer part of y plus 1. That's all. It cannot be anything else. Because if the decimal part of this add up to a number less than 1, this will come. If it is more than, this will come. More than 1, not possible, because decimal part plus decimal part cannot cross together 1. Okay, cannot cross 2. That cannot be equal to. Is that okay? Let us see this one. I can write integer part of x plus k is equal to integer part of x plus k, if k is an integer. If k is an integer, for x you add k, then find integer part, or first find integer part of x, then add k. There is no difference. Both are same. I should write if beginning. If k belongs to integer, then integer part of x plus k, we can take it out. It's not
Sir,
okay. Yes, please.
sir, integer part of x plus y is not equal to integer part of x plus integer part of y. So then why you wrote or integer part of x plus?
No, I am not saying this is not equal to, need not be equal to. Okay, that means sometimes it can be. Sometimes these two are equal, sometimes these two are equal. Either this or this, it cannot be anything else. Okay. Yes. For example, let us say this has decimal part 0.3, this has decimal part 0.5. When you add them, you will get 0.8, and in the integer part that can be neglected. So you will get this one. But when this decimal part and this decimal part add up to a number beyond 1, then you will get this one. You cannot get anything else. You cannot get plus 2, plus 3 and all, because the decimal part here cannot add up to 2 or beyond 2.
Understood, sir.
Okay.
Sir,
And this is example. Just take some example and see, man. They take this. You take 7.1 and here some 3.5. This alone integer part is 7. This alone is 3. And this is 10.6, which is 10. And that is 7 plus 3. Okay, that is no problem, because this 0.1 plus 0.5 anyway 0.6, and in this integer part you will neglect that. But instead of 0.1, if it is 0.7, then this may be 7, this may be 3, but this is not 10.6, it is going to be 11.2. It will be 11 plus 1 extra. Why that 1 extra came? Because this 0.7 and this 0.5 together came as 1.2, that extra 1 came. But extra 2 can never come, because this decimal and this decimal cannot cross 2, right? This sum.
Yes.
Right? Anyway, I am going to discuss something called fractional part of x. Later on, I am going to define it. Then we will understand a little better about this. I'll come back and explain. I'm sure this everybody can relate. When you add an integer, whether you add before finding integer part or after finding integer part, there is no difference. Because you are only increasing the integer part, you are not changing the fractional part, or what you call decimal part. Okay, everybody clear up to here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody comment integer part of minus x? Will it be same as minus of integer part of x, or it will be anything else?
The minus of x minus 1, sir.
Minus of x plus 1.
Minus of x plus 1 or integer part of x plus 1 you want to say?
Minus of integer part of x minus x plus 1.
Okay. Yeah. Integer part of minus x. Okay. Can we take minus outside? No, there are two cases. It will be minus integer part of x if and only if x is an integer. For example, if you take integer part of minus 7 and integer part of 7, this integer part is negative of this. But if you take minus 3.1 and 3.1, what is the integer part of this? 3. And what is the integer part of this? Minus 4. Okay. So whenever x is integer, no problem, you can take minus out. But whenever x is not an integer, the integer part of x is different from integer part of minus x. Not only the sign, the number. Okay, so it is actually minus of integer part of x plus 1. If and only if x is not an integer. Okay, the same thing I can write. Integer part of minus x plus integer part of x is equal to 0 if x is an integer, equal to minus 1 if x is not an integer. You can take any example, very easily can relate. If I take 5, this is 5, this is minus 5, 0. If I take 7, this is 7, this is minus 7, 0. If I take 2, it is 0. But if I take 2.3, this is 2, this is minus 3, sum will be minus 1. If we take 3.7, this is 3, this is minus 4, sum will be minus 1. Saket, understood these 2 points?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yochana, are you able to follow all these things?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You joined late. Earlier I called your name. You did not respond.
I was getting disconnected, sir, in between.
Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm going to discuss about fractional part of x. Fractional part of x is equal to x minus integer part of x. This is simple. Okay, we read this as fractional part of x. Fractional part of x. You can even call decimal part of x if you want. And the simple definition is x minus greatest integer function. For example, if you take 7.3, you can write it as 7 plus 0.3. This is called integer part. 0.3 is called decimal part or fractional part. Okay. If I take only 9, you can write 9 plus 0. There is no decimal part, so 9 is integer part and 0 is the decimal part. If you take 10.27, you can write 10 plus 0.27. This is integer part, this is a decimal part. Okay. But for negative numbers, we have to be careful. You cannot write minus 3.2 okay, as minus 3 plus 0.2. No, it is not minus 3 plus 0.2. It is minus 3 minus 0.2. So we should say integer part and we don't say this is a fractional part. We have to go for this definition. Okay, so if somebody says I want fractional part of minus 3.2, according to this it is minus 3.2 minus integer part of minus 3.2. Minus 3.2 minus 4, that is actually 0.8. So minus 3.2 decimal part is not 0.2, rather it is 0.8. Because we don't write this as minus 3 plus 0.2, rather we write it as minus 4 plus 0.8. This is integer part and this is the decimal part. Is it okay, especially for negative numbers?
Yes, sir.
Especially some of you know about log tables before, you will actually write this as 4 bar 0.08. Some of you know about log tables before?
No, sir.
No, don't worry. Okay, we'll teach just in time. Okay, and I'll write some few examples here. Fractional part of 7.3 according to definition is 7.3 minus integer part of 7.3, which is 7.3 minus 7, which is 0.3. But which we know directly for 7.3, 7 is integer part, 0.3 is the fractional part. 7.3 is 7 plus 0.3. This is integer part, this is a fractional part. If you take fractional part of 9, it is 9 minus integer part of 9. That is also 9. 9 minus 9 is 0. So basically 9 you can write 9 plus 0. This is integer part and this is a fractional part. Even if you take fractional part of minus 4, it is minus 4 minus integer part of minus 4, which is minus 4 minus minus 4, which is 0. So even minus 4 I can write minus 4 plus 0. This is integer part, this is a fractional part. Okay, when you come to negative numbers, for example, minus 3.8, it is minus 3.8 minus integer part of minus 3.8, that is minus 3.8 minus minus 4, which is 0.2. So I have to write minus 3.8 is actually as minus 4 plus 0.2. This is integer part, this is a decimal part. So only for negative numbers you have to be careful, otherwise no problem at all. Today, if I get time, I want to make some kind of question paper which you can attempt in online. Okay. If I get time, I'll try to make something on logarithms or something. I'll send to you. And you can in the evening. You see once after 5 o'clock or something. Some 15-20 minutes only. Doesn't take much time to attempt.
Sorry.
In the regular regular WhatsApp group only. I'll send a link. Okay. If you click on that link, directly question paper will. I want to experiment on Google Form basically. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I've done a lot of Google Forms for my son. Okay, where I can put a lot of videos there, images there, animations and all. But for you, it is dry math, so I cannot do all this. Maybe somebody teaches languages, they can do something. Okay, they can put an audio clip and ask, listening skills or something. Maybe in chemistry or physics, they can put some, some animated things are there.
Math also you can give animations, sir, like some flying numbers or something.
Yeah. Just for the sake of making it, we can make it. Okay. So basically, fractional part of x is 0 if and only if x is an integer. You take any integer, positive, negative, 0, fractional part of x will be 0. Next, fractional part of x will be always between 0 and 1. Closed 0, open 1. For all x belongs to R. Correct, right? Decimal part cannot cross 1 now. It will be maximum 0.99, something like that. Open interval 1 and 0. And fractional part of x and x both are equal. Can anybody tell an example for this?
2.
Huh?
0, sir.
Fractional part 0, okay.
0 to open
What
1.
about 0? Yeah, 0.2 is okay, 0.3 okay, because 0.3 fractional part is 0.3 itself, right? Yeah, I'm going to write something. Okay, so we all know fractional part of x definition is x minus integer part of x. But that I'm going to write many things. It is x, x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3. It can be x plus 1, it can be x plus 2. When is this? When x belongs to closed 0 to open 1. When is this? When x belongs to closed 1 to open 2. This is when x belongs to closed 2 to open 3. This is when x belongs to closed 3 to open 4. This is when x belongs to closed minus 1 to open 0. This is when x belongs to, you can write it if you want. Closed minus 2 to open 9. Yeah. X minus integer part of x, between 0 to 1, it will be 0. This will directly get x. So you take anything between 0 to 1, fractional part of x and x are same. Fractional part of 0.2 is 0.2. Fractional part of 0.9 is 0.9. Fractional part of 0.8 is 0.8, as it is. You take anything between 1.2, 1 and 2. If you want fractional part, you have to subtract 1 because integer part of x is 1 in that interval. And between 2 to 3, integer part of x is 2. Between 3 to 4, integer part of x is 2. Similarly, between minus 1 to 0, it is plus 2. Is it okay? Anybody any objection to this?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Anybody want to tell what is the answer for this?
0.
0, sir.
0, sir.
0.
What about this one?
0.
This one is 0 because this will become 7 and fractional part of any integer 7 is 0. This one becomes 0.2 and integer part of anything between 0 to 1 is 0. Right. So it's not just for 7 pointed, it's for everything. Integer part of a fractional part of x is equal to 0 for all x belongs to R. Because this is always between 0 to 1. Since fractional part of x belongs to closed 0 to 1. Fractional part of integer part of x is 0 for all x belongs to R, since integer part of x belongs to I. If you take any integer, fractional part is 0. And of course, fractional part of x is fractional part of x. And integer part of x is integer part of x. Once you found integer part of x, you already in integer. When you find one more time, nothing will happen. And once you found fractional part of x, you are already between 0 to 1. So another fractional part is not going to change your answer. Saket, are you able to follow all these things?
Little bit, sir.
Okay. You can always, after the class, sit and try to understand carefully. You can look at the video. Again. Okay, this is also important. If k is an integer, fractional part of x plus k is same as fractional part of x for all x belongs to R. Because for a number, if you add an integer, will the decimal part will change? No, right?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So that's
No, sir.
k is an integer. By adding k to x, you are not changing the fractional part. So whether you take fractional part of x or fractional part of x plus k, it is same. That's it. And we cannot say fractional part of x plus y is need not be. Okay, fractional part of x plus y need not be equal to fractional part of x plus fractional part of y. But fractional part of x plus y is equal to fractional part of x plus fractional part of y, or fractional part of x plus fractional part of y minus 1. If these are like 0.2 and 0.3, no problem. If this is something like 0.7, this is 0.8, when it crosses 1, you have to subtract 1 for that to get the fractional part. Same thing we have in integer part. Integer part of x plus y is integer part of x plus integer part of y, or integer part of x plus integer part of plus one more extra there. So here it is one less. Okay, so this is the definition of greatest integer function, fractional part function, and their different properties, which we'll be using not just in the coming chapter, but even the limits, continuity, differentiability, we'll be using for the rest of the topics in calculus in the 1B. I'm going to now tell the graph of this integer part of x and fractional part of x graphs. Yeah, one more thing here I want to write about. Fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x. Anybody want to tell anything about it?
One.
It will be 0 or 1 for all x belongs to 1. Fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x equal to 0 if and only if x is an integer. If I take 9 and minus 9, this will be 0, this will be 0. Okay. And the fractional part of x plus fractional part of minus x equal to 1 if and only if x is not an integer. You can easily take an example and relate to it. For example, if I take 3.2, here I'll get 0.2. But if I take minus 3.2, I'll get 0.8. This is 0.2 and this is 0.8, it will be 1. If I take some 9.6, this will be 0.6, but this will be minus 9.6, integer part will be 0.4. 0.6 here, 0.4 here, it will be 1. Okay, in the other track, you're studying about the graphs. That's good. Quite parallel to that. Y equal to integer part of x. The graph is quite interesting. It is 0 here, 1 here, 2 here, 3 here, minus 1 here, minus 2 here, minus 3 here. This is closed, this is open. 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 Okay, whatever you observe with the green color, that is the graph of integer part of x. Because you take anything between 0 to 1, integer part of x will be 0. Y coordinate is always 0, x coordinate. But exactly at 1, it suddenly jumps. If you take 0.99, it is 0. But at 1, it will be 1. Up to 2. Up to 2, it is always 1. Anything between 2 to 3 is always 2. Anything between 3 to 4, it is always 3. Anything between 0 and -1, it is always -1. Anything between -1 to -2, and anything between -2 to -3, it is always -3. Okay, you can easily see here between 0, when x value is between 0 to 1, y value is always 0. When x value is between closed 1 to open 2, it is always 1. When x is closed 2 to open 3, it is always 2. Here it is always 3. Always left side is closed circle here, the full circle, and the right side is open. And you don't have to draw this, but these are in the same line. These are also in the same line. These dotted lines is not necessary, just to make a point that these are right below. Okay, if you look at the whole graph, basically it looks like somewhat like this, right? What does it look like?
Steps.
It looks like a staircase, okay, or steps. That's why it is called step function, by the way. There's a name for this. It is called step function. Greatest integer function or step function. These vertical dotted lines are not so important. Just to show that up to 1 it is 1, suddenly at 1 it goes to 1, and always 1 only, and suddenly at 2, just before 2 it is 1, but at 2 it is 2. It is jumping in, at every integer it is suddenly jumping from one value to next value. Okay, y is equal to fractional part of x, which is x minus integer part of x. Okay, again, this dotted line is not required to write, just to show that one is above the other, straight above. This is 1, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. You all know decimal part of any number cannot cross 1, right? So if you take 0.2 x value, y value is also 0.2. At 0.8 it is 0.3. At 0.4 it is 0.4. At 0.9, 0.9. At 0.99 it is 0.99. But suddenly at 1, the fractional part has to come down to 0. For every integer, fractional part is 0. At 1.1, the fractional part is only 0.1. At 1.2, 0.2. At 1.3, 0.3. At 1.9, 0.9. And exactly at 1.999, it is also 0.999. But at 2, again, it comes down to 0. So from 0, it increases to 1. Suddenly it drops down to 0, again increases up to 1. Suddenly it drops down to 0, again increases up to 1. You take anything between 2 to 3, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.9. The fractional part increases 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.9. But at 3, it has to come down to 0. Again, go all the way up to 0.9 and again come down to 0. This is the graph of fractional part of x. Is this a periodic function?
Yes,
sir. With period 1.
What is the period? What is the periodicity?
1, sir.
1. For simple reason, fractional part of x plus 1 equal to fractional part of x. Just now I told you, by adding an integer, fractional part will not change. I wrote a k here. In the place of k, I can write 1. By the way, this is our very definition. Whenever f of x plus t is equal to f of x, the least positive value of t is called period, right? So because fractional part of x plus 1 is also fractional part of x, fractional part of x plus 2 is also fractional part of x, fractional part of x plus 100 is also fractional part of x. The least such value is positive value is 1. That's why you can say period is 1. Or in the figure, you can say after every 1 unit, same thing is repeating. I hope everyone could not just draw this graph, you're able to relate to why it's coming like this. Suddenly it's coming down to 0 and going all the way up to 1. 1 is always open. 1, it will never become 1 because decimal part cannot be 1. It can be all the way up to 0.999, but never 1. So these are all open circles. These are all closed circles. Okay, we'll be using this fractional part of a graph in so many places in the future chapters. Sometimes we'll talk about continuity. That is, in the graph, whenever there's a break, we say the graph is discontinuous. So at every integer, the graph is a sudden break is there. We will study this in limits. We say when you are taking x, when approaching x1 from this side, that is, you take 1.5, 1.4, 1.3, 1.1, you are reaching 0. But when you're approaching x from this side, like 0.5, 0.6, 0.9, the fraction part of it is becoming 1. They're called right limits and left limits. In second year also, we'll be finding areas and we'll be using integration. Okay. So first year, a lot of things what we are studying, especially we are going to use in other lessons so much. Okay. One last question. I want to stop with this. Fractional part of x is equal to 4 by integer part of x plus 1. Okay. I want all the solutions of this equation, the x values which can satisfy this whole equation. Wait. Way too much. Too many values will come. I'll take reciprocal of this maybe. Fractional part, sorry. Integer part of x plus 1 by 5. Yeah, this is easier. Try to find all the solutions for this equation. Anybody want to tell me one x value satisfying this equation?
Sir, x belongs to closed interval minus 1 to 4.
No, x is, it is not an interval. You'll get some numbers, 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 5 numbers will come. It is not any interval.
So example 4.1.
4.1 will it satisfy? Let us take. Put 4.1 here, you'll get 0.1. Here if you put 4.1, you'll get 1. They're not equal. This is 4 plus 1, 5 by 5, 1. They're not equal, right?
Sir, minus 1?
Yeah, minus 1 will satisfy because it will be 0 here, it will be 0 here. Yes, minus 1 is correct. I'll give you one example.
2.8.
3 plus, not 3.8 you want to say?
Yes, sir.
3.8 is correct. Because if you put 3.8, it will be 0.8. And if you put 3.8, it will be 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 by 5 is 0.8. Yes, satisfying. So 3.8 or 3.45. 4 by 5 is correct. Any other answers? Till now we got two answers, -1 and 3.8.
Two and 6.
2.6 also correct. Yes.
1.4.
Yes, 1.4 1.4 is also correct. Yes. Okay. -1 is
0.2.
that.
So
Yes,
can we get
0.2.
more answers than 4?
No. Only this. These are the final. Nothing else. -1, 0.2, 1.4, 2.6, 3.8. That's all. You cannot get any more. Why? This is always between 0 to 1, right? So 0 less than or equal to fractional part of x less than 1. We know that. Fractional part of x cannot cross this limit. So in the place of this, substitute this 0 less than or equal to integer part of x plus 1/5 less than 1. Multiply with 5, you'll get 0 less than or equal to integer part of x plus 1 less than 5. Add -1. -1 less than or equal to integer part of x less than 4. So our integer part of x has to be between -1 and 4, and it should be integer. So integer part of x can be -1, 0, 1, 2, 3. That's all, nothing more. When you put integer part of x as -1 here, the corresponding fractional part of x is 0. When you put 0, it is 1/5. When you put 1, it is 2/5. When you put 1, 2/5. When you put 2, it is 3/5. When you put 3, it is 4/5. And what is x after all? Integer part of x plus fractional part of x. You take integer part and decimal part, you should get the original function, right? In fact, the fractional part of x definition is x minus integer part of x. So you take this integer part of x, this fractional part of x, add them, you'll get all these answers. -1 plus 0. -1 plus 0 is -1. 0 plus 1/5, that is 0.2. Okay. 1 plus 0.4, which is 1.4. 2 plus 0.6, which is 2.6. And 3 plus 0.8 is 3.8. So in this case, the answer is -1. In this case, the answer is 0.2. When you add these to 1.4, when you add these to 2.6, when you add these to 3.8. Okay, we thoroughly covered, not just guessing or doing trial and error. We thoroughly covered. There cannot be any more solutions. Okay, mainly this is always between 0 to 1. So this should be between 0 to 1. Based on that inequality, I got integer part of x should be between -1 to 4. Among that, the integer values that are acceptable is this. Substitute all of them in this equation. The corresponding fractional part of x values are this. Add the integer part and fractional part of x, will get all the x values. This plus this, this plus this, this plus this, this plus this, this plus this. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.